Is justice always served by the law? This is a question that has puzzled philosophers, legal scholars, and ordinary citizens alike for centuries. Today, we delve into the seminal work of Julius Stone, a renowned legal scholar who grappled with this question in his book, Human Law and Human Justice. In order to understand the relationship between law and justice, we must start from the beginning. Stone takes us back to the genesis of human law and justice. He explains that as humans evolved and formed societies, they needed rules to govern their interactions. These rules, in their most primitive form, were the earliest instances of law. As societies grew more complex, so did these laws. They evolved from simple rules of conduct into elaborate systems of governance, with the aim of not only regulating behavior, but also ensuring justice. However, Stone emphasizes that this evolution was not linear or universal. Different societies developed different laws based on their unique needs, values, and understandings of justice. Thus, law and justice are not abstract, universal concepts, but human creations shaped by human experiences and perspectives. This understanding sets the stage for our exploration of the interplay between law and justice, a journey that will take us from the ancient world to the modern courtroom. Stone opens with introducing us to the complex interplay between human law and justice. He underscores law as a human creation, a tool through which societies aim to uphold justice. As we transition from exploring the interplay between law and justice, we find ourselves at the cusp of understanding the evolution of these two intertwined concepts. Throughout history, societies have constantly reshaped their legal systems, adapting them to changing circumstances and evolving perceptions of justice. Stone navigates us through this transformative journey, highlighting key historical events that have left indelible imprints on our current legal structures. Is the law a static entity, or is it dynamic, growing and changing with society? We delve deeper into these questions, setting the stage for our upcoming discussion on the nature of law itself. Then, he delves into the nature of law, exploring its philosophical foundations, its origins, purpose, and characteristics. Here, Stone dwells on the question if law is a mere codification of societal norms, or if it's a beacon guiding us towards an ideal society. In this section, we dive into the diverse interpretations of law and justice across different cultures and societies. Stone highlights how historical, geographical, and societal contexts have shaped the way we perceive law and justice. He emphasizes that these interpretations are not static but evolve with societal changes and advancements. From the tribal customs of indigenous communities to the complex judicial systems of modern societies, the interpretation of law and justice is as diverse as humanity itself. Stone tells us to remember that, while our understanding of law and justice may differ, the universal principles of fairness, equity, and righteousness remain at their core. In the chapter on justice in legal systems, Stone brings our attention to how different societies approach justice. He probes into the cultural, historical, and political factors that shape the justice framework in various legal systems. Before delving into the intricacies of ethics and morality in law, let's pause and consider the broader societal implications of legal decisions. In this chapter, we explore how the verdicts passed down in courtrooms echo far beyond their walls, influencing societal norms and values, shaping public opinion, and even determining the course of history. We'll examine landmark cases that have sparked significant societal change and consider the ripple effects of these decisions. This exploration will underscore the immense responsibility resting on the shoulders of those who interpret and apply the law, setting the stage for our subsequent discussion on the ethical dimensions of legal decision-making. The role of ethics and morality in law forms the crux of the next chapter. Stone investigates the ethical dimensions of legal decision-making, emphasizing the importance of fairness, equity, and the role of individual conscience. Before we delve into the intricacies of lawmaking and legislation, it's essential to understand the role ethics play in this process. How do lawmakers ensure they are guided by ethical considerations while drafting, amending, or enforcing laws? How does the moral compass of a society influence the laws it creates? Let's explore these questions in this scene. We will examine the intersection of ethics and lawmaking, providing insight into how moral principles can contribute to the creation of just and fair laws. We'll also discuss how ethical dilemmas can arise in the legislative process and the mechanisms in place to resolve them. Remember, law is not just about rules and regulations, It's a reflection of the moral fabric of a society. Moving into the realm of lawmaking and legislation, Stone analyzes the principles that guide the creation, amendment, and enforcement of laws. He explores the dynamics of the legislative process and its role in shaping societal justice. Before we dive into the world of judicial interpretation, let's pause and consider the crucial bridge that connects lawmaking and judicial application. This bridge is formed by the law enforcement agencies. They are the executors, the ones who ensure that the laws legislated are followed, and the ones who play a pivotal role in maintaining balance in our society. We'll explore their role, the challenges they face, and the critical importance of their neutrality and integrity. Remember, without effective enforcement, even the most meticulously crafted laws would be futile. So, join us as we traverse this bridge, understanding the significant role law enforcement plays in the grand scheme of human law and justice. In the chapter on judicial interpretation and application, he turns the spotlight on judges. Stone discusses judicial discretion, precedent, and legal reasoning, crucial elements in the application of law. As we transition from the application of law to its reform, it's crucial to highlight the role of the judiciary in promoting social justice. Judges, through their interpretations and applications of the law, have the power to shape societal norms and influence change. They can interpret laws in a way that addresses social inequalities, providing a platform for legal reform. Let's examine some landmark cases where judicial decisions have paved the way for significant social change, setting the stage for our next discussion on social justice and legal reform. Stone then shifts focus to social justice and legal reform. He discusses how law can be a tool to address social inequalities and how legal systems can evolve to foster greater justice within societies. In this scene, we explore the intersection of domestic law and international human rights. Stone delves into how domestic legal systems can incorporate and uphold international human rights norms. He discusses the role of national constitutions, legislative frameworks, and judicial interpretations in promoting and protecting these rights at the domestic level. He also highlights the challenges that arise when domestic and international understandings of human rights conflict, and the potential solutions to these issues. International law and human rights form the next focal point. Stone weighs the challenges and opportunities in developing and enforcing international legal norms, particularly those related to human rights. Moving forward, we explore the challenges of implementing international human rights. The process of upholding these rights can be complex, often involving a delicate balancing act between national sovereignty and international obligations. The effectiveness of international law is often questioned, given the absence of a global enforcing body. Despite this, international human rights continue to play a crucial role in promoting justice and equality on a global scale. Stone underlines the importance of constructive dialogue and cooperation among nations, as well as the role of international courts and organizations in ensuring the protection of these rights. He also addresses the potential pitfalls and controversies that can arise in the course of implementation, such as cultural relativism, political resistance, and the debate over universalism versus cultural specificity. Critiques of legal systems come under scrutiny in the subsequent chapter. Stone acknowledges the criticisms of bias, inefficiency, and injustice in legal systems, proposing ways to address these. Transitioning from the critiques of legal systems to the criticisms of human law and human justice, let's take a moment to understand the imperfect pursuit of justice. This journey is fraught with hurdles and complexities. As we have seen, criticisms range from bias and inefficiency within legal systems to the subjectivity and interpretation inherent in human law and justice. In the quest for fairness, we encounter the challenge of cultural relativism. What is deemed just in one culture may not hold true in another, creating an intricate web of differing norms and values to navigate. Moreover, power dynamics often seep into the legal framework, with those in power potentially manipulating the law to their advantage. This imbalance poses a significant threat to the equitable application of justice. Laws, however potent they may be, are rendered ineffective without robust enforcement mechanisms. The inadequacy of enforcement can severely undermine the pursuit of justice, transforming laws into mere words on paper. Moreover, human law and justice often do not extend to systemic issues or transnational problems, limiting their efficacy and reach. The pursuit of justice, while noble, can also inadvertently lead to the erosion of rights, as the quest for a greater good may sometimes overlook or infringe upon individual rights. These challenges and criticisms underline the imperfect pursuit of justice. They highlight the need for continued reflection, dialogue, and reform in our legal systems to address these issues and propel us closer towards achieving justice for all. As we delve into the next scene, we will further explore these criticisms and look at how they affect our understanding and application of human law and human justice. Venturing into the 11th chapter of our discourse, we find ourselves in the midst of a critique. While human law and human justice are fundamental concepts in legal theory and practice, they are not exempt from criticism. First, we explore the subjectivity and interpretation that comes with human law and human justice. The problem arises when the law, designed to be objective, becomes a subject to individual interpretations, leading to inconsistency in its application. Next, we delve into the critique of cultural relativism. What may be considered just in one culture might not be in another, posing a significant challenge to the universal application of human law and human justice. Thirdly, we examine the power dynamics that often play out in legal systems. Those with more power can manipulate the law to their advantage, creating an imbalance in justice. Our discourse then shifts to the critique of inadequate enforcement. Laws are mere words unless they are enforced effectively. The lack of proper enforcement mechanisms can undermine the pursuit of justice. We then scrutinize the limited scope of human law and justice. They often fail to address systemic issues or transnational problems, limiting their effectiveness in promoting justice. Lastly, we discuss how the pursuit of human law and human justice can sometimes lead to the erosion of rights. In striving for a greater good, individual rights can often be overlooked or trampled upon. These criticisms highlight the complexities and challenges inherent in the pursuit of human law and human justice. They underscore the need for ongoing reflection, dialogue, and reform within legal systems to address underlying issues and advance the cause of justice for all. As we move into the next scene, we will reflect on these legal systems, contemplating the ways they can evolve to better serve justice. In the 12th chapter of our discourse, we explore the potential for reform and evolution in legal systems. As we have seen, human law and human justice are not without their criticisms, yet it is these very criticisms that can pave the way for positive change. Stone presents the idea that legal systems are not static entities, but dynamic structures capable of growth and improvement. He proposes that the subjectivity in human law and justice could be mitigated by establishing clearer guidelines and standards for interpretation. As for the critique of cultural relativism, he suggests the integration of cultural sensitivity into legal systems, allowing for a balance between universal principles and cultural nuances. To counteract power dynamics, Stone advocates for greater transparency and accountability in legal processes. He also calls for stronger enforcement mechanisms to ensure that laws are not just words on paper, but effective tools for justice. In response to the limited scope of human law and justice, he proposes an expansion of legal frameworks to address systemic and transnational issues. Lastly, to prevent the erosion of rights in the pursuit of justice, he emphasizes the need for a rights-based approach in law and justice. These suggestions for reform and evolution in legal systems are not exhaustive, but they provide a starting point for ongoing dialogue and reflection. As we move forward, it is crucial to remember that the pursuit of human law and human justice is a continuous journey, one that requires constant learning, adaptation, and growth. Scene 12, Reflections on Legal Systems. In this scene, Stone leaves us with musings on the evolution of legal systems for improved justice service. He proposes potential renovations and enhancements to the law, making it a more potent instrument in the quest for justice. Scene 13, Conclusion. In conclusion, human law and human justice offers an extensive analysis of the complex interplay between law and justice. Stone encourages us to critically analyze the function of law in society, compelling us to persistently assess and transform our legal systems to better align with the ideals of justice. Let's pose this question: does the law always ensure justice? Stone's research doesn't offer clear-cut solutions, but it does provide a foundation for understanding these complexities and striving for a more equitable legal framework. Scene 14, Key Lessons from Human Law and Human Justice. Let's go over some vital insights from Julius Stone's work. The initial takeaway is the imperfection of legal systems. Each and every legal system comes with its unique set of shortcomings, signifying the need for our constant vigilance and critique. The second insight deals with the role of ethics in the realm of law. Stone underscores that law isn't merely a rule book, but a moral duty. This bestows an ethical obligation on everyone involved in the legal proceedings. The third insight Stone brings attention to is the significance of social justice. He contends that our legal systems should aspire not just to enforce laws, but to reach a state of equitable society. The fourth insight focuses on the cruciality of legal reform. Stone vehemently asserts that laws are not unchangeable and should adapt with the evolving societal needs and values. Finally, Stone emphasizes the need for critical reflection. He exhorts us to not just conform to the law, but to continually question, scrutinize, and discuss its advantages and flaws. Summarily, human law and human justice functions as a stimulating scrutiny of the intricacies involved in the quest for justice within man-made legal systems, presenting valuable wisdom for scholars, practitioners, and the general populace.